On the news, a joint committee of Senate opens investigation on Okwama killing. House of Representatives approves budget extension and judiciary salaries. Plus, Benue State Legislative Aids Forum inaugurated at the National Assembly. A very warm welcome to Thursday's NTA Parliament News, reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital city. I'm Lami Ali. Senate has urged members of the public to volunteer information as it commences investigation into last Thursday's killing of officers and soldiers in Okwama community in Delta State. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and other service chiefs were at the National Assembly as the Senate Joint Committee on Defense, Army, Navy, and Air Force opens investigation on the tragic incidents. The Joint Committee extends condolence to President Tinubu and the armed forces over the loss, restating commitments to do all it takes to ensure that such never happens again.
We in the Senate and indeed the National Assembly will always support our military in whatever way we can. I will take this opportunity to commend our armed forces for doing so much with so little that we can always afford. We hope we can do better, and we are very, very prayerful and confident that resources will be better going forward.
And here comes a cheering news on the execution of government policies and projects. This is because the implementation of the entirety of the 2023 Appropriation Act and the supplementary budget have been extended to June 30, 2024. Senate at plenary reenacted the act and granted accelerated passage to the bills as requested by President Tinubu. Here is the report.
These extensions are necessary to ensure that the provisions of the acts are exhaustively implemented.
President of the Senate, Appe Bill, read the communications at the commencement of plenary, after which the request received expeditious consideration.
The request came from the President today, necessary to get these bills passed. This will give the chance for all those projects, those vital national projects that their implementations have so far started to get completed.
The President also transmitted to the Senate a bill seeking prescription of salaries and other emoluments for judicial officers in tune with economic realities for consideration and passage. Plenary featured the second reading of 3 bills, including the bill that seeks amendment to the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act to include the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in surveillance and prevention of money laundering in Nigeria.
Provide an upper threshold for reporting suspicious transactions and to expand the scope of matters that reporting entities can consider.
Senate has passed the Student Loans Access to Higher Education Act Amendment Bill to ensure seamless implementation. The motion from Senator Idiato Laurenti seeking collective efforts to tackle the challenge of out-of-school children in Nigeria was supported.
Urge governments at all levels to implement targeted intervention programs that will address all the factors militating against free access to quality and basic education, particularly multidimensional poverty and insecurity.
Any society that neglects or relegates education to the background does so at the risk of its own peril.
There was this concept of nomadic education. That concept would have saved what we are seeing today as banditry. But along the line, a lot of politics came up, and it was disbanded.
We urge the appropriate agency or department to publish, as I know they used to do, but this time to make it in newspapers, state by state, including FCT, the percentage of out-of-school children. So we can see the governors and the states that are more guilty of this.
Senate also paid tribute to the late Olubadan.
Oba Dr. Mahood Lekan Balogun, the 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan, a revered monarch and a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To all of us, he was a father like none.
May the soul of Oba Dr. Mahood Lekan Balogun, the Olubadan of Ibadan, rest in perfect peace.
Plenary has been adjourned to Tuesday, 16th April 2024. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News. Now, the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on Communications has approved the sum of 549.6 billion naira appropriation for the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) for the 2024 fiscal year. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide has details.
The 2024 proposed budget of the NCC has a total recurring expenditure of 115.059 billion naira, a total capital expenditure of 18.02 billion naira, and total capital projects of 84.80 billion naira. Lawmakers asked for clarification on issues bordering on security, revenue generation, data protection, infractions found in the 2023 budget report, as well as subsequent recruitment.
Whatever level of education talk to MTN or Glo or Airtel, because I can tell you for free, they are not paying in right time.
When they kidnap, they make phone calls. We should be able to use technology to track where they are.
When people are faced with emergency, nobody remembers 080 or to call any other number other than. But if you have those 3 digits nationally, it will save so many lives.
The NCC says it has devised measures to make easy for operators in the country to comply with its regulatory directives, as well as the tracking of bandits and kidnappers.
And you can see that from our budget that we increased our projections for regulatory expenses. It's because we want to make sure that our regulations are efficient enough to deter operators from infractions that will lead to sanctions.
Our Honorable Minister has put together, whereby we're looking to work with the Interior Ministry to raise this publicity and potentially change some of the operational modalities so that Nigerians can get the benefit.
And the Joint Committee is ready to give the legislative, support to the Commission to perform its function as a regulator of the communications sector.
I hereby move that the Joint Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives on Communication do approve the NCC budget of 2024.
The 549.6 billion naira appropriation proposal of the agency was afterwards ratified by the committee chairman. From the National Assembly, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
Moving now to the lower chamber, the House of Representatives has passed 2 bills for acts to extend the implementation year of the 2023 national budget and its supplementary components from March 31st, 2024 to June 30, 2024. The Green Chamber also gave judicial office holders in the country reasons to smile as it has approved and passed into law an act to prescribe new salaries, allowances and fringe benefits for them. National Assembly correspondent Mitare Ikpen has the details.
Lawmakers at plenary suspended relevant standing rules of the House for expeditious consideration and passage of executive bills.
To amend the Appropriation Act.
Following President Tinubu's request, 2 bills seeking 3 months extension of implementation timeline of the 2023 budget and the supplementary component were passed.
Looking at the cumbersome nature of our Procurement Act, which will not allow the government to implement the budget within that delimited period. So there is need for us to extend to June so that the budget will be implemented effectively for the good governance of Nigeria.
And therefore I approve clauses 1 to 3 and explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill.
The House also passed into law the bill making judicial office holders to now be entitled to new salaries, allowances and fringe benefits prescribed in the Act. The salaries and allowances elevated to reflect changing economic realities take effect from 1st January 2024.
Mr. Speaker, the last time
the salaries and the benefits allowance of judicial officers were reviewed was 2007. Meaning, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Chairman, that they've been stagnant over this period of time. So I really want to commend Mr. President for forwarding this bill to the House.
Prohibition of multiple allowances. Carried. The third is monitoring compliance. Carried. Fourth is power of the President to vary the schedule to this act. Carried.
Lawmakers equally passed the Student Loans Access to Higher Education Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. The bill, when signed into law, paves way for the establishment of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund that will disburse and recover loans to students for higher education, vocational training, and skills acquisition. Lawmakers condemned what they call the abuse and proliferation of orphanage homes in the country.
Turning orphanage into baby factories, where teenage girls are accommodated to produce babies, which are sold and used for rituals and other heinous activities. Mandate Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, both to ensure standardization of orphanage homes and close those under resource.
The House has adjourned plenary to April 16, 2024 for the Easter and Salah break. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the Nigerian military will continue to do everything possible to bring to an end the present security challenge in the country. The Chief of Defense Staff gave the assurance when the House Committee on Defense visited the National Defense Headquarters on oversight to appraise implementation of the 2023 budget. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed has more.
The Chief of Defense Staff stated that Nigeria's security challenge is temporary, which will soon become history. The Armed Forces is therefore soliciting for the cooperation of all Nigerians to win the fight and defend the territorial integrity of the nation.
We are sure that together, working as a team, with your support, with the support of the citizens, we will overcome this issue. And we're happy that the President is also taking the bold step in ensuring that he gives us the full support in all we're doing. We know, again, we cannot have all the equipment that we need. But with the little we have, we'll continue to push until more comes around. And I'm sure we'll address this issue.
Members of the Committee on Defense acknowledged the efforts of the military in safeguarding the nation, calling on the government to equip the Nigerian police to handle internal security in synergy with other security outfits.
While we acknowledge the tremendous success recorded so far through the several theaters of operation across the country, Nigerians are tired of excuses. As representatives of the people, we can tell you authoritatively that they are yearning for definitive results and an end to this myriad of security challenges. This committee realizes that these results can only be achieved at a cost. A contemporary, well-equipped, well-trained, well-resourced, and adequately motivated armed forces.
The committee also condoled with the military over the Delta State incident. In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Following the public hearing on the NAFDAC ban on alcohol in sachet and PET bottles, Chairman of the House Committee on Food and Drugs Administration and Control, Regina Kuma, is appealing to NAFDAC to be guided by public demands on the matter. At a media briefing after the public hearing, the committee expressed concerns that the ban contradicts constitutional provisions and undermines the economic recovery plan of governments.
From the foregoing, the following recommendations were made. The ban should be lifted because the timing is inappropriate. The economy is struggling, unemployment rate is staggering, and the inflation rate is soaring, while the poverty level is on the increase with paucity of forex to do business. This should be replaced with prescribed regulations and access control, such as they should be placed with prescribed regulation and access control, such as establishment of licensed liquor stores, stroke outlet in LGAs across the country, making it unlawful to send underage person to purchase alcoholic beverages, tightening enforcement by law enforcement agencies, increased monitoring and compliance checks by the NAFDAC, FCCPC, and others to ensure strict product quality in terms of content and safety. Conclusion. All the recommendations and prayers of this committee were adopted.
The newly inaugurated chairman, Benue Legislative Aids Forum at the National Assembly, Samuel Noba, has assured members of transparency and open door policy for the growth of the forum. This was his acceptance speech at the inauguration of the forum in Abuja. Mohammed Isa again has details.
12 executive members of the Benue State Legislative Aids Forum at the National Assembly were inaugurated at the occasion to serve a 4-year term. Bem Azage, who administered the oath of office, tasked the new ESCO members on their commitment to duty, unity of purpose, and brotherliness at all times. The new chairman promised to carry everyone along to unite the forum for development.
We feel that it is very important for us to progress as legislative aids. We need that kind of platform that will come together, we'll brainstorm, we'll look at the challenges of our individual responsibilities and our duties respectively, and find solutions that will help us curb on those challenges.
He solicited support from all and sundry to enable the leadership of the forum succeed in their various responsibilities. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Time now to go on a break. Parliamentary news continues after. Do stay tuned.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
You're welcome back. Osun State House of Assembly has commenced discussions around the constitutionality and legality of creating 4 additional state constituencies to the existing 26 constituencies in the state. Assembly correspondent Muiwa Umawumi has details of the sitting.
Top on the agenda is discussion on urgent need to create 4 more additional state constituencies. Member representing Irewole Ishokon State Constituency, Honorable Waheed Abiola, who addressed the House, mentioned that it is becoming important for Irewole Ishokon local government area to be divided into 2.
My prayers, Mr. Speaker, to the National Assembly, the Federal House of Representatives and the Senate, and my prayers are also to the Senate Committee on Amendment of the Constitution, and also to INEC to help us look into this matter urgently, sir.
Reacting to the development were Honorable Femi Pokola, Tajuddin Adeyemi, and Sonny Areoye, and Adeyemi Adewumi said Section 91 of the 1999 Constitution, as altered, supports the creation of more state constituencies.
Section 91 is not ambiguous. It's very, very clear. So it is
not a matter of population or anything. Whether if a constituency is smaller than what it is in Ogun State, it is entitled to 27 or 36 members.
Section 91 of the Constitution is shall. And when the law says shall, it means that it is imperative, it must be done, so it can't be done.
But I also had to point of law for proper interpretation of this motion.
After much deliberations on the issue, the Speaker, Honorable Adewale Egbedu, granted the prayers and passed a resolution for the creation of 4 additional state constituencies.
State constituency in Osun State will be forwarded to the National Assembly and its Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution. If you are in support, say aye. If you are against, say no. The ayes have it.
Also, part of plenary was Osun State Primary Healthcare Development Board amended number 1 bill, which passed second reading. From the Osun State House of Assembly, Muiwa Omoumi, NTA News.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has been urged to take advantage of their unity of purpose to promote mutual interdependence among all arms of government to sustain the socio-economic developments of the state. Parliamentary rulers of Ijebu, Remo and Egba gave the advice while receiving members of the State House of Assembly led by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, in their palaces in Ogun State. Correspondent Yemi Dalemo completes the reports.
The paramount rulers of Ijebu, Remo and Egba land commended the Ogun State lawmakers for the seamless manner that led to the emergence of the new leader of the House, describing the visit as the first of its kind in the history of legislature in Ogun State. The royal fathers urged the lawmakers to take advantage of the unity and work in harmony with the executive arm of government to advance the overall development of the state.
We have to work together in absolute cordiality. Don't say we are independent. Nobody is entirely independent. Like there is no nation in the world that is independent of all the rest of the nations.
This is the first time in the whole of the House. I can have individual visit from Speaker or this is the first time I will see that the whole of the House is visiting me. It's the added twist and something that is good for the state. Formally, and on behalf of all the robbers in the state, we are very happy to.
The Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, explained that they embarked on a visit to identify with the royal fathers and drink from their wealth of experience in the administration of their various communities to keep them abreast of the demands of their constituents. The lawmakers were in Ijebu, where they interacted with the Abuja and paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono, and also at the palace of Akarigbo of Remo, Oba Babatunde Adewale Ajayi, and with the Alake of Egba land, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, at his Ake Palace in Abeokuta. Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
A bill to regulate and improve the activities of community development associations and organizations has passed third reading on the floor of the Gombe State House of Assembly. Abbas Mekan reports that the House had received the executive bill since 25th July last year.
A bill for a law to establish community development associations and community-based organizations.
After 8 months of legislative scrutiny, the bill, which seeks to establish registration office for community development associations and organizations, is now one of the Gombe State laws.
Those in favor will say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The bill, through the House Committee on Rural Community Development, Cooperatives and SDGs, was subjected to public hearing as part of the requirements for establishing the law.
Some of the stakeholders identified and invited include Ministry for Local Government, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Youth Development.
With about 15 observations and amendments in the original copy of the bill, the law is now a true reflection of the public interest that addressed areas of concern on community development associations and organizations in Gombe State. Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
The Cross River State House of Assembly has announced the appointment of Catherine Ubi as substantive clerk following a letter sent to the House by the State Governor, Basio II. Uduaketim reports that the Governor has directed immediate suspension of the Cross River State House of Assembly Service Commission for failure to highlight criteria of seniority in recommendations made to the Governor on the appointment of Patrick Eddy as clerk, which has been withdrawn.
A letter sent to the Cross River State House of Assembly by the State Governor Basio II, signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Anthony Waneno, was read during plenary by the Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, Elbert Ayambem, who announced the appointment of the new clerk, Catherine Ubi, noting that the appointment is well-deserved, as selection of the clerk was based on hierarchy. Withdrawal of the appointment of Patrick Eddy as clerk of the House by the Governor, according to the letter, is based on the fact that the critical criterion of seniority was not highlighted or even made reference to in the recommendations made to the Governor.
It is not to subjugate the will of the people, but that the right thing be done.
Following the Cross River State House of Assembly Service Commission's failure to reveal the correct seniority order leading to selection of Patrick Eddy as clerk, the Governor, in a letter also read by the Speaker, directed the immediate suspension of the commission. The matter was committed to the House Committee on Judiciary, Public Service Matters, Public Petitions and Conflict Resolution for proper investigations and to report back to the House in a week's time. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
Now that is the size of our bulletin for today. Remember to log on to NTA Parliament on the platforms on your screen. On behalf of the production crew, many thanks for watching again. I'm Lami Ali. Have a good evening.